If you grew up in the 1970s, this might hit you right in the gut. Remember sitting at that cafeteria table, popping open your metal lunchbox, and hoping nobody looked too close at what your mom packed? These weren't PB and J sandwiches. These were the real deal school sandwiches, the ones wrapped in wax paper, sitting at room temperature till noon. Some were salty, some were downright strange, and every single one of them is practically gone today. Let's see if you were brave enough to eat these. Number 1. Deviled ham sandwich on white bread. Now this one takes you straight back to a Monday morning in 1974. Deviled ham was not something fancy from the deli. It came from a small can with a key or pull tab on the side. That little can sat in the pantry for weeks, waiting for a morning when the fridge looked bare and the school bus was coming fast. Mom would open the can, scrape every bit out with a butter knife, and spread that deviled ham thick across 2 slices of soft white bread, usually Wonder Bread. Nothing toasted, nothing extra, no lettuce, no tomato, just ham spread and bread. She wrapped it tight in wax paper, folded the corners just right, and slid it into your metal lunchbox. No ice pack, no cooler, just room temperature until noon. By the time lunch rolled around, that sandwich had been sitting for 4 hours. You would sit down at the cafeteria table, snap open that metal latch, and slowly unwrap the wax paper. That salty canned ham smell would drift out. Not terrible, not great. Just strong enough that the kid next to you might glance over and say, "What are you eating?" The texture was smooth and spreadable, almost like a paste. Number 2. Egg salad sandwich with Miracle Whip. Now, if deviled ham was Monday, egg salad was usually Tuesday. You could always tell when Mom had boiled extra eggs the night before. That meant one thing the next morning: egg salad sandwiches. She would peel those hard-boiled eggs at the kitchen counter, mash them up in a bowl with a fork, and add a big spoonful of Miracle Whip. Not mayonnaise, Miracle Whip. That slightly sweet, tangy spread that every fridge seemed to have back then. Sometimes she added a pinch of salt and a little black pepper. If she was feeling fancy, maybe a tiny bit of mustard. But most of the time, it was just eggs and Miracle Whip. She would spread that thick, pale yellow mixture onto 2 slices of white bread, press them together and wrap them tightly in wax paper. Into the metal lunchbox it went. No ice pack, no refrigeration, just sitting there until noon. By lunchtime, that sandwich had warmed up to room temperature. You would unwrap it slowly, and that eggy, slightly sweet smell would rise. The texture was soft and creamy. The egg whites were tender. The yolk mixed smoothly with the Miracle Whip. The bread had absorbed some of the moisture, making it soft around the edges. Some kids loved it. Some kids tried to trade it. But if you grew up in the 1970s, chances are you ate more than a few egg salad sandwiches at that cafeteria table without thinking twice about it. Number 3. Liverwurst and mayonnaise sandwich. Now this one separated the brave from the picky. Liverwurst was not for everybody. It came from the deli counter, sliced thick, wrapped in paper, and brought home like it was something special. Mom would lay those soft, pinkish-brown slices on the cutting board early in the morning while the coffee was still brewing. She would take 2 slices of white bread, spread a thin layer of mayonnaise on one side, and place the liverwurst right on top. Sometimes she added a slice of onion if Dad liked it that way, but most school lunches kept it simple. Just liverwurst and mayo, wrapped neatly in wax paper, tucked into your metal lunchbox. By the time lunchtime came, you would open your lunchbox and already know what was inside before you even saw it. Liverwurst had a smell. Rich, meaty, strong. Some kids would look over and say, "What is that stuff?" but you took a bite anyway. The texture was smooth and almost creamy. Liverwurst spreads easily, almost like butter. The mayonnaise added just enough moisture to keep it from feeling dry. The bread stayed soft, pressed flat from being packed tightly in the lunchbox. It was not flashy. It was not modern. But back then, it was normal. If your mom packed liverwurst, you knew she was stretching every dollar and making sure you did not go hungry. And in the 1970s, that was what mattered most. Number 4. Olive loaf sandwich. Now here is one you do not see much anymore. Olive loaf. You would spot it behind the glass at the deli counter. That pale pink lunch meat with little green olives scattered through it like polka dots. As a kid, it almost looked fancy. Mom would ask for a few slices, thin or sometimes a little thick, and bring them home wrapped in white deli paper. The next morning, she would lay 2 slices of white bread on the counter, stack the olive loaf neatly in the middle, and sometimes add a thin swipe of yellow mustard. Nothing more than that. She wrapped it in wax paper, folded it tight, and slid it into your metal lunchbox. When you unwrapped it at the cafeteria table, you could see those little olive pieces staring back at you. Some kids thought it looked strange. Others wanted to trade. The taste was mild and salty, with tiny bursts of briny olive in every few bites. The texture was soft, slightly chewy, and the bread had flattened down from being packed tightly. It was simple, affordable, probably around 50 cents for the whole sandwich. Number 5. Spam sandwich with mustard. Now, this one right here brings back some memories. Spam was always in the pantry. That blue and yellow can sit on the shelf like it would outlive all of us. When money was tight or the fridge looked empty, Spam was the answer. Mom would open that can with the little metal key, slide the block of meat out onto a plate, and slice it into thin pieces. Sometimes she fried it for dinner. But for school lunch, most of the time it went on the bread just the way it was. 2 slices of white bread are on the counter, a layer of Spam, and a thin line of yellow mustard spread across the top. That was it. She wrapped it tightly in wax paper and placed it into your metal lunchbox, where it sat for hours without a single ice pack in sight. By lunchtime, the sandwich had warmed up to room temperature. You would unwrap it slowly at the cafeteria table, and that salty canned meat smell would rise. Spam had a firm texture, but was still soft enough to bite through easily. The mustard gave it that sharp little kick that made it taste stronger than it really was. The bread flattened down from being packed tightly. It was salty, it was simple, and it filled you up. Number 6. Potted meat sandwich. Now this was pure pantry survival. Potted meat did not come from the deli. It came in a small flat can, usually stacked right next to the tuna. The label did not say much, and you did not ask too many questions about what was inside. On a busy morning, Mom would grab that little can, pop it open, and scoop the meat out with a spoon. It had a soft, spreadable texture, almost like a paste. She would spread it thick across 2 slices of white bread. No lettuce, no tomato, maybe a thin swipe of mayonnaise if there was time. But most days, it was just potted meat and bread. When you opened it at the cafeteria table, you already knew what to expect. The smell was strong and meaty, a little salty, a little metallic. Not terrible, but not exactly something the kid next to you wanted to trade for. The texture was very soft, almost too soft. The bread soaked up the moisture and turned slightly soggy by noon. It was salty and filling, and that was the point. But if you grew up in the 1970s, you remember unwrapping that wax paper and eating it anyway, because that was lunch and that was that. Number 7. Head cheese sandwich. This was the sandwich that made other kids stare. Head cheese did not look like regular lunch meat. It looked almost see-through, with little chunks of meat suspended inside like something out of a science experiment. You would see it at the deli counter and wonder who actually bought it. Well, somebody did, and sometimes it was your mom. She would bring home a few slices wrapped in deli paper, lay 2 pieces of white bread on the counter, and place the head cheese right in the middle. Maybe a thin swipe of mustard if she thought it needed a little kick. Then she wrapped it carefully in wax paper and placed it into your metal lunchbox. By lunchtime, the sandwich had softened slightly from the warmth of the room. When you unwrapped it at the cafeteria table, you could see the little bits of meat inside that jelly-like layer. Some kids would lean over and say, "What in the world is that?" The texture was soft, but slightly firm, almost gelatinous. The flavor was mild, a little salty, not as strong as it looked. Number 8. Bologna and cheese sandwich. Now this one was a true classic. If you heard the deli slicer running on Sunday afternoon, chances were Bologna was coming home in a paper-wrapped bundle. That big round slice with the red ring around the edge was a staple in just about every refrigerator in the 1970s. On a school morning, Mom would lay 2 slices of white bread on the counter, place 1 or 2 slices of Bologna right in the center, and top it with a square of American cheese, the kind that barely fit the bread and hung over the edges just a little. Sometimes she added a thin spread of mayonnaise or a small line of yellow mustard. Most days, it was kept simple. When you opened it at the cafeteria table, it smelled mild and familiar. Salty Bologna, creamy cheese, soft white bread. The Bologna had that smooth, slightly smoky flavor. The American cheese added a creamy bite. And the bread, flattened from being packed tight, held everything together. It was not fancy, it was not exciting, but it was dependable. And back then, that was enough. Number 9. Tuna salad sandwich at room temperature. By the time you smelled it, it was already too late. Tuna salad had a way of announcing itself the second that lunchbox snapped open. That unmistakable scent of canned tuna mixed with mayonnaise drifted across the cafeteria table. Mom would drain the tuna straight from the can into a bowl, break it apart with a fork, and stir in a good spoonful of mayonnaise. Sometimes there were little extras, like chopped celery or a bit of pickle relish. Sometimes not. It depended on what was in the fridge that week. She would scoop it onto white bread, press the slices together, and wrap it up in wax paper like always. And then it sat, all morning, in a locker, in a classroom, no ice, no cooler. By noon, that tuna salad was completely room temperature. You would unwrap it slowly, hoping it was not too strong that day. The bread would be soft and slightly damp from the mixture. The tuna was flaky and salty, the mayonnaise creamy but warm. Looking back now, it is wild to think we ate tuna that had been sitting in a metal box for 4 hours. But in the 1970s, nobody thought twice about it. It was just another ordinary school lunch. Number 10. Ham salad sandwich. This was what happened to Sunday dinner leftovers. If your family had ham the night before, you already knew what might show up in your lunchbox the next morning. Mom would take those leftover slices, chop them up fine on the cutting board, and mix them in a bowl with mayonnaise. Sometimes there was a little sweet pickle relish stirred in. Sometimes just a touch of mustard. Nothing fancy, just whatever stretched it far enough to make a sandwich. She would spoon that pink, creamy mixture onto white bread and press the slices together. By the time it was wrapped in wax paper, it looked simple enough. But by noon, it had changed. After sitting all morning in your metal lunchbox, the bread would be soft and slightly damp around the edges. The ham salad inside was creamy, salty, and just a little sweet if relish was added. When you unwrapped it at the cafeteria table, it did not look impressive. It was not colorful. It was not trendy. It was just practical, but it was filling. Back then, nothing went to waste. Leftover ham became lunch, and you ate it without a second thought because that was just how things were done in the 1970s. Those were 10 forgotten school sandwiches from the 1970s. No ice packs, no fancy packaging, just wax paper, white bread, and whatever mom had on hand. Now I have got to ask you, which one showed up in your lunchbox? Tell me in the comments. I bet we remember more than we think.